Hi Deepu, how are you?
Yeah, I am fine, sir. And you, sir? How are you, sir?
I'm good too. Thank you. Wishing you and your family a very happy new year.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So, can you tell us something about yourself?
Yeah, sir. First, thank you, sir, giving this intro to introduce myself. I
Hmm.
am Dipura. I am from Bihar, or I have completed a bachelor in computer applications
Mm-hmm.
in 2018 after the completed of graduation. Then after Corona session is coming, then I not got job in IT sector. Then I starting at the job as a teacher. Now time I am interest to job in IT sector. So I got trained in VJSF, that's institute where I got a skill about test cases, test scenario, STLC, or many types of functionality testing. That's smoke, sanity, regression, or how to create test cases, test scenario, or also knowledge about core Java or agile methodology. That's or I have also knowledge about some knowledge about API testing. That's it.
Some knowledge about API testing. So,
That's
what do you
myself.
know? Yeah. So, what do you know in API testing?
Uh, In API testing, I am using Postman tool, some variables, pre-request script, test script, or also explores our experience about a Postman tool, our knowledge on YouTube, sir, with the help with YouTube. What is variables? What is pre-request script? Response, how to put the value, how to get the value,
Hmm.
how to put patch deletes, or HTTP status codes. Some
Hmm.
knowledge, but not more.
Okay. Okay. So,
Yes,
in an interview, whenever you tell something, like you mentioned about API testing, you might mention about any other skill set, any other tools, technology. So, be very conscious about those things because definitely you will get questions. Initially, if you speak up about any tools, technologies, if you are fully confident, if you're fully sure that you know all those things, then you should definitely tell in an interview. But if you're not confident about the preparation that you have done on those topics, on those tools, then you can avoid telling those things, right? Okay.
okay, sir.
Okay. Can you tell me the principles of testing?
Yeah, principle of testing. Principle, and there are six types of principle of testing. Here's
Six. Are you sure?
six,
Don't.
seven,
Yes. Yeah. Either it is six or it can be seven.
seven, seven.
Yeah, seven, right. Seven is the right answer. Hmm.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Mm, in principle of testing, here say early testing
Hmm.
is possible. Early testing is possible first, or defect
Are you
testing,
getting any
or
messages on any other tool or messenger?
defect.
Yeah. You need to
Yeah,
sign.
getting, sir, on mobile. I muted it, sir.
Yeah, yeah, please. So please take care of all these things in a real-time interview, right? You're a fresher. You would be giving the interview for the very first time, right? It doesn't sound professional. Okay, yes. Please continue with your answer.
Yeah. In principle of testing, first early testing is not possible, sir.
Hmm.
Or we exclusive testing is not possible. Third thing, defect clustering. Or fourth thing, prestate products. Or we will not clear all the defect, because in testing some defect erase here, because we not clear about all the defect. You not surely say that the in the application in software we saw percent, 100% the defect can be not find. So all the defect can be. We don't say about that the defect, all the defect can be testing, because in testing some defect is in the software. So I cannot say the defect can be in software. Fully defect regime in software.
Okay. Okay. So please revisit this concept of principles of testing, right? The explanation that you gave was getting linked to some other testing principle, right? So please ensure you remember this concept of principles of testing very thoroughly. In a real-time interview, definitely it is going to be asked to you. Okay. Now, what is severity and what is
Yeah,
priority?
okay, sir. Severity.
Hmm.
Severity means how much impact on the software, that's of software, how much defect that impact on the software. That is called severity. Yes, because it's some severity is high, some medium blockers, pull up blockers at severity, or minor, medium, that's our severity. In severity, we say that the how much impact the defect on the software.
Hmm.
It's called severity.
Okay. That's it.
Mm. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So, severity is fine that you were telling. It is a degree of impact a bug or a defect will have on that particular software application which is under the test. Priority is
Yeah,
defined as the order in which the defect should be fixed. Higher the priority, the sooner the defect should be resolved,
yeah.
right? So that is priority.
Priority means priority means how soon as possible we found the defect. Yeah, we start the testing.
Mm-hmm.
Given the priority about how soon we start the test for that defect. That's
Okay.
priority. Priority, high priority, medium priority, low priority.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's level on the severity. High severity has high priority, and medium severity has medium priority.
No, 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 no. It does not has any relevance to the severity. Priority is altogether a different parameter. Severity is altogether a different parameter. Priority cannot be determined on the basis of severity, right? As you were mentioning, like
Yeah, okay.
high priority will go with high severity. It doesn't happen. It depends on what kind of defects you are getting. Sometimes you get a defect with high severity with a high priority. Sometimes you get a defect with a high severity and a low priority, right? So those are parameters of the defect, and those do not go hand in hand, right? Okay. Now
Yeah.
let's say you get some mobile application for testing. So how will you test that mobile application?
Uh, Firstly, we check the in mobile application UI level of the testing, UI function of the application is better or not. Yeah, any UI level, that text box, checkbox, yeah, a text box is fine or not. Or after the checking the UI level, we test a smoke testing. Firstly, we check a smoke testing. After the smoke testing, we do sanity and regression first, then sanity, or super testing, sir.
Okay. Now, whenever you get this question,
Sir, please repeat, sir. Please.
yeah, you want me to repeat the question? Okay. So
Yes, sir.
let's say you got some mobile application for testing. So how will you test that application?
Yeah.
Hmm? How will you test? You are mentioning about doing smoke testing. You are mentioning about UI level of testing, right? But how will you test that
Yeah.
application?
Sir, firstly, we analyze requirement. After the analyze requirement, we design that's, or after designing we creating test cases, test scenario on the defect and on the that defect scenario or defect cases. Uh, we are starting that testing
Hmm.
on the basic of test scenario or test cases. We are starting tested.
Okay. So either you will write test scenario or you will write test cases, or will you write both test scenario as well as test cases?
Yes, yes, sir.
No, no. I'm asking.
Firstly, we write.
Hmm.
Firstly, we write test scenario. Then
Hmm.
I write test cases on the basic of test scenario.
Hmm.
Yeah, because test scenario is a high level, yeah, one line detailed statement, or test cases is a detailed statement on that syntax scenario.
Okay.
Test scenario is one line statement. Just example, I take a login functionality, logout functionality, or forget password search functionality. What is test cases say that in login functionality, validate passwords, enter the valid credential with the invalid credential. So much, sir.
Hmm. Okay.
Man, in test cases, we check with
Fine. See, whenever you get this kind of question in a real-time interview, how will you test a mobile-based application, right? So that is a part of testing. That is STLC. Whatever test scenarios, test cases you will have, obviously you will have something in hand. Then only you will start test execution. If you don't have, that means the STLC process is not being followed. Okay, now you have test cases with you. Now you have to execute the test cases. But still, there are many things. As you are mentioning, you will do GUI testing, you will do functional based testing, right? You will test the application with respect to the requirement, whether it is meeting the business requirements or not. If you are finding any defects and all those things, that will go, right? Then you will keep the mobile in the horizontal mode. You will check if the application, for example,
yes,
it's a order based application in which you are ordering something, so you will test with various functionality of mobiles, like if you are receiving the call and you are able to place the order, or after hanging up the call you are able to continue with the flow of the application, right? That is from think from an end user point of view. Don't think from a software tester, don't think from a software developer point of view. Think from how a real person, how an end user is going to test that application, right? And whenever you are asked any question in an interview, try to answer that particular question, right? As I felt like you were being diverted when you started giving example of test scenario, test cases, but I didn't ask that question, right? So in a real time interview, you will have to be very good at not only giving the answers, but you will have to be at par with your listening skills as well. You have to listen the question. You have to understand what the other person is saying. Again, the COVID is at peak. You will see some interviewer in my place, right? At my place, they won't be having so much patience. They won't be having that much time to listen to you, right? It is just very
okay,
simple kind of analysis for them whether they have to push you to the next round or they have to reject you, right? So
okay,
please give importance to the time of the interviewer, right? Please listen to them. Please listen to the questions. If you're not able to understand, you ask me again. So I again repeated you, right? But then still you gave me the example of test scenario, test case, right? I can understand it's you are a fresher, but you will have to enhance your listening skills, right? Okay. So so how will you test your mobile based application? So these are the kind of test scenarios that you can give to them. Okay. Okay. Now coming to the next question. You got a build on Monday. Okay. And nothing is working in that build. As of as per the prior discussion that you had with your test manager or with your development team, right? you were supposed to have two functionalities for testing, any two features, some XYZ, some ABC feature for testing. But when you receive that build, nothing is working, right? You are getting exceptions, you are getting blocker issues. How will you handle and how will you
Yes, sir.
handle this situation? What will you do?
Sir, firstly, we are getting the build. Then we are not open the build. Then that's it a smoke testing because when we are getting the build from the developer, it's blocker because in blockers we cannot directly because we cannot open the application or open the software. So we reject that build or it given to the developer to recheck again. Yeah, developing again. Resend to the developer for again developing. Again,
Sorry, reset to
yeah,
the,
reject the build, sir.
you will reject
Simply
it. Okay, fine. That is fine. You will reject
resend.
it.
Yeah, reject.
You will resend it. What further you will do?
Yeah.
What next you will do?
Uh, then after the when developer will developing that reject build after then we do retesting on that build
Mm.
in
But
new build.
okay,
Uh,
rejecting the build is one of the aspect, but next thing is about collaboration, right? You can have a word with your development team. You can have a word with your test manager, with your test leads, right? And you can just inform them that you were given some task of testing two functionalities, testing two features, which cannot be completed because build is not of that good quality that you can complete that testing, right? So that is also one of the things. Another thing is you will, okay, rejecting the build. So you won't be sitting idle, right? You would be working in some private company. So you will see in your plate what next task you have. Maybe you might would have planned it for tomorrow. Maybe you might would have planned it for next to next day. So you will take up that task in advance and you will try to complete it because what task you are going to get today, that might get delayed, right? So that is the next thing that you have to do. Okay. Don't tell in an interview that you will be sitting idle or you will be just rejecting the bill. There are multiple tasks that you are supposed to do, right? And no one is going to come and tell you that, okay, now do this. In the initial phase, they might guide you. They might advise you, okay, now do this task A, do this task B. If task A and B are not doable, do task C. But then you have to take those initiatives by yourself and you have to complete them. Okay. Now, which are the columns or which are the fields you will have in the test cases?
test cases, firstly test ID, test case ID,
Mm,
test scenario,
mm,
or test step,
mm,
test data,
mm.
or accepted result, or accepted or accepted result, or some
What
or
about
actual
actual result?
result,
Yes, actual result.
actual yes,
Then what
actual
about
result.
prerequisites? Prerequisite.
Prerequisite,
Yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So please remember these fields. This will be asked to you definitely in an interview, right? Test case ID you will have, then prerequisites, test case steps, test case
Pre
description,
test
test data,
test data.
expected result, actual result, then bug
Ac-
ID, remarks, test result, whether it has passed or failed, right? Those things.
status, status,
Yes, those things you will be having,
status.
right? Okay. What is the difference between load testing and stress testing?
Yeah. In load testing, we testing the stress and time taken by the in load testing, we testing the stability and response type of application by applying load. That load is equal to the design number of user. Yeah, load to the design number of users. That is called load testing. We check here stability and response type of application by applying load. That load is uh, yeah, equal to the design number of users.
Mm-hmm.
Equally a load to the design number of users.
Okay.
Some example I take, sir. When I use an application, or here only 100 people use application. So I check in load testing only 100 people. So it's 14 like 15 or hundreds, yeah, zero. That's not over the hundreds. But in a stress testing, we check it without with above the hundreds. So in a stress testing, we blocking the blocking the application by testing the how person can use the application, how much it works. So that's so sir, here we checking it response time and stability.
So that as such also whether you test response time, stability, those things are part of performance testing, right? So how will you
Yes.
differentiate load testing and
But
stress?
in load testing, sir, we testing it is given number of users, because in load testing when we individual the application, we in the application we and only 100 people use application. So we check within load testing with only uh, a given 1 to 100 between, no, not over the hundreds. But in a stress testing, we check with over the value, 100 value.
Okay, okay, sounds good. Okay, Deepu, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
Sir, some question.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how to, sir, improve yourself, improve in your education? Yeah, some things. So how
Mm-hmm.
to get job, because now very recession in IT. So my manual testing. So how to improve in that, sir?
Mm-hmm. Okay. See, if you are
Because
looking,
very recession or
right. See, if you are looking to get a job, see again that message is coming, right? So can you please put that phone on the silent mode, right? Okay. So, see, if you want to get a job in the field of software testing, so only manual testing won't be enough. You will have to learn automation testing. I was very happy when you told you know API testing, but when we dig down, then before I could ask you the question, you told some concepts, right? So you will have to be very thorough with things like API testing, Selenium with Java, or any programming language automation, right? If you are comfortable with manual testing, API testing, Selenium automation, then I think from a fresher perspective, you're good, right? And that too, I'm not telling you to have end-to-end knowledge of 100% everything. Have some basic knowledge. Have some knowledge to that extent that you should be able to answer very confidently in an interview, right? And then
yes, sir.
nothing is impossible, right? Okay, and please work on the network connectivity. Then please keep your phones in the silent mode, right? That is also very important because if you will see this entire interview, no, I was looking at your face. I was trying to read what you are telling, right? So
Yes,
it becomes
sir.
very difficult as an interviewer, right? And it's already
Sir,
8 p.m. Yeah.
I forget it, sir. I forget it.
Okay. Yeah. So please
But
take care.
in
Yeah. No worries. No
yes, sir.
worries.
Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Very, very thank you, sir.
Thank you and all the best for your career. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you, sir.